fly.
Triangulation at 50%.
Rocket, here!
Welcome to Deep Rock Galactic, a wonderful game about mining minerals, finding bugs, and imbibing enough alcohol to kill an elephant. And I'm here to explain it to you in the most aggressive way I can. But first, before you can know what you're doing here, you need to know where you are and why you're here. In this game, you play as a dwarf hired by the Deep Rock Galactic Interstellar Mining Corporation and shipped off to Hoxus 4, an alien planet chock full of resources and untouched by civilization, which according to management means it's basically paradise. What makes Hoxus so important is its vast network of subterranean caverns that spread out across the planet, playing host to the planet's dense biosphere with many different ecosystems forming in the different underground regions, and more importantly, the planet's vast mineral wealth. So far, there are 10 regions that have been discovered on Hoxus, each possessing unique features that make them stand out against the rest. First are the Crystalline Caverns, a blue-tinted network of caves illuminated by glowing crystals found throughout the region that have a 50-50 chance of randomly shocking you with arcs of lightning. Despite the lightning rocks, the caverns are actually one of the safest places on Hoxus due to the simple cave layout and lack of endemic plant life. The same, however, cannot be said for the magma core, which can be aptly described as perpetually on fire. Sitting deep within the crust of Hoxus, the caves that make up this area are formed out of rock directly on top of liquid magma. Due to this, the caves are prone to earthquakes that can change their topography in a matter of seconds, and geysers that will randomly shoot bursts of fire into the air, making it possibly the most dangerous region on the planet. We're still gonna send you down there though. On the opposite end of the temperature spectrum can be found the glacial strata, a layer of permafrost sitting underneath every continent on Hoxus, and you might be wondering how a giant glacier can exist in those conditions, and to that I say at least one of our nerds already quit whilst trying to figure out how that's possible, so shut up and do your job. Maintaining the same level of danger, next we have the radioactive exclusion zone, an irradiated wasteland consisting of radioactive ash, radioactive crystals, and radioactive organisms. In fact, it's more than likely that you're the only thing down there that isn't irradiated. Moving away from the more extreme regions of the planet, we enter into the sandblasted corridors, a subterranean desert known for its gale force winds and arid climate. And due to how dry it is down there, anything that happens to live in that area is going to be particularly aggressive in its quest to drink you like a Capri Sun. Going from an underground desert to the remains of an underground lake, we end up in the salt pits, and whilst they're not much of a change from the desert, at least the ever-present dust here tastes kinda good. Cranking up the biodiversity, we end up in the dense biozone, a region dominated by a massive subterranean rainforest sporting a variety of plant life that can be as hazardous as it is helpful, with the most notable features of the region being the massive coral structures that dominate any cave they are found in. Another interesting fact about this region is that despite the fact that it's located several miles underground, it somehow rains down there, although we don't actually know what the rain is made of, so don't drink it. From coral to slime, we move over to the fungus bogs, a region packed full of plants and mushrooms that can be aptly described as green. Unlike the dense biozone, which has some plants that aren't trying to kill you, everything there that can be described as alive wants you to be dead, so don't get killed. Hue shifting into blue, we end up in the Azure Weald, a mysterious cave system filled with strange bioluminescent plants, stuff that's probably magic, and most importantly, living hang gliders capable of feeling pain. But don't get distracted by the beauty of this region, it's still just as deadly as any other. Finally, moving away from the caves of Hoxus and into a giant subterranean tree under attack by a species of giant thorny vines, and is somehow still chock full of minerals, we find ourselves in the Hollow Bow. Due to these unique circumstances, the region has a number of threats that are entirely unique to it, ranging from the aforementioned vines that permeate the caves to maggots that burrow through the walls and just look kinda gross. Now that you know where you are, it's time for you to find out what you're doing here. In essence, your job can be split up into two primary objectives: plunder Hoxus for everything it's got, and kill anything with more than 2 legs. The former is rather simple, with each mission having you dropped off in a cave and given an objective to complete before you can leave. The latter, on the other hand, is where things get complicated, as it just so happens there is a species of giant bugs that can be found in every region of the planet, but I'll touch on that later. As far as what you'll be doing down there are a number of different objectives that you must complete, which are mining, egg hunt, refining, salvage, point extraction, escort, elimination, and sabotage, all of which are rather self-explanatory. Of course, none of these go off without a hitch, because this ain't Minecraft, kid. Now, if you pay attention while you're in the process of stealing everything you can lift, you might notice the giant bugs emerging from the walls in order to eat you. These are the Glyphs, a species of giant flesh-eating bugs that you will never escape as long as you remain on the planet of Hoxus. So in order to assist you in doing your job and getting off Hoxus alive, you have been provided the tools necessary to aid you in not dying, which have been conveniently separated into 4 distinct classes. First is the Scout, who specializes in mid-range bug killing and falling from high places, coming equipped with a flare gun and grappling hook for lining up caves and getting to high places. Next is the Driller, who specializes in short-range crowd control and getting lost in the walls, packing a pair of huge drills and a backpack full of C4. Third on our list of goons is the Engineer, specializes in doing objectives and being of no greater use to the team, bringing with them 1 or 2 turrets and a platform gun. Last but not least, we have the Gunner, who looked at the utility of the other classes and instead decided to specialize in the art of Glyph genocide, by packing enough heat to burn Hoxus to the ground, as well as a zipline gun and bubble shield so that they can pretend like they're helping. Now for the Glyphs, a race of bugs that come in all different shapes and sizes and exist with the sole purpose of making your life as hard as possible. Essentially, if there's a niche on Hoxus, there's a Glyph to fill it, ranging from the annoying biters to the unstoppable ghost bulk detonator. As well as Glyphs, there are also a number of other threats that you will encounter in the caves. Macteras, which are basically flying Glyphs, other species that have set out to kill you, and a horde of robots that have arrived with the sole purpose of plundering the resources that rightfully belong to the company. So they specifically are to be destroyed at all costs, or just whenever you happen to see them while on a job. Now that you know where you are and what you're doing here, it's time to dive deeper. Deep dives are a marathon version of regular missions in which you play 3 missions back to back with no breaks in between, rewarding you with makeshift scores that can be used to overclock your weapons. Overclocks can be split up into 3 groups: clean overclocks, which give you a direct buff to the weapon, balanced overclocks, which provide a more substantial buff at the cost of nerfing some other stats, and unstable overclocks, which completely alter how a weapon is used by majorly altering its stats. Alright. Now that you know everything you need in order to succeed, it's time you see what happens when that knowledge gets put to the test. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the greatest escapes this game has ever seen.
I needed that.
Keep it together. Drop pod is en route.
Kill some more crates. Just me.
Secondary objective completed. Make it home to collect your bonus. Drop pod arrived. Fuel is returning to LZ.
We're on the same thread.
This!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Predator drone down!
This never gets old.
Lloyd!
Yeah, give me some sugar.
Go, go, go! Drop pod isn't waiting forever!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
This'll turn them crazy! Pheromone canister thrown!
The mule has been successfully retrieved. Make it snappy, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
Rock and stone, brother!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 3 minutes.
Whoosh! Ah! Players, not ready yet!
Shield up!
Let's stick together for power.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 2 minutes.
Eat it! I'm blind!
Shield charged and ready.
I got the tri-jaw! These bugs don't stand a chance against us! Pheromones! Crawlies attack each other! Thanks for saving me!
Drop pod departing in T-minus 1 minute.
Get that
Eat that!
annoying little buggers. Come on, guys! Rock
Blood
and
brother!
yeah! Access provided.
Drop pod departing in 30 seconds.
Shield charged.
Seconds to take off.
For rock and stone!
3, 2, 1, heading for orbit. Extraction commencing. Good work.
No one gets left behind.